The book of Proverbs is called Mushli, and I don't, you know, if it's divided into 31 parts, I'm not sure whether it's divided into the chapters here. An anthology of gnomic poetry, proverbs, prudential social maxims are indigenous in every people. Among the Jews, the writing of them became a conscious art pursued extensively in the post-exilic period. Many collections were made, the earliest based directly upon an Egyptian work, the Wisdom of Amenhotep. A final collection of collections was put together about 300 BCE, just as it was customary to ascribe most of the Psalms in the absence of other known authors to the poetical King David, so King Solomon received credit for most of the Proverbs on the strength of his reputation for wisdom. But the term wisdom came in the later period to include much more than mere knowledge of the world and the laws of conduct, since the structure of the world and the laws of conduct alike revealed the ways of God. The wisdom of sages resembled in its humbler degree the divine wisdom itself, hence the term was frequently used as synonymous with the divine plan, according to which all things were created. In this sense was similar to the word in the first chapter of the Gospel according to John. Wisdom literature was the Jewish equivalent of Greek philosophy insofar as the latter had a religious cast, but it always kept closer to its popular origin and always emphasized practice above theory. Well, belief and action are essential to put together, but you certainly have to more than claim the truth, right? Similarly, it was, of course, devoid of the scientific spirit so prominent in Greek philosophy. Well, religion is supposed to be beyond philosophy and psychology, but contain their values, right? Beyond mere material science, but not opposed to it. But we'll see as we go on how some of that compares as far as this claim. Mushli, the Book of Proverbs, an anthology of gnomic poetry, to know wisdom and instruction, to discern the words of understanding, to receive instruction in wise dealing, in righteousness and judgment and equity, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion, that the wise man may hear and increase in learning, and that the men of understanding may attain unto the sacred, unto sound counsels, to understand a proverb and a figure, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. The fear of God is noun and verb, is the beginning of knowledge, but the foolish despise wisdom and instruction. Hear, my sons, the instruction of a father. Hear, my sons, the instruction of a father. And to attain to know understanding, for I give you good doctrine. Forsake ye not my law. For I was a son unto my father, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. And he taught me and said unto me, let thine heart retain my words, keep my commandments, and live. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not. Neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing. Wherefore get wisdom, yea, with all that thou hast gotten, get understanding. Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor. When thou dost embrace her, she shall give to thine head a chaplet of grace, a crown of beauty shall she deliver to thee. The lips of a strange woman drop honey. There's more to life than variety, but we'll see. The lips of a strange woman drop honey, and her mouth is smoother than oil, but her latter end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps take hold on Sheol. So she findeth not the level path of life. Her ways are unstable, and she knoweth it not. Now therefore, my sons, hearken unto me, and depart not from the words of my mouth. Remove thy ways far from her, and come not nigh to the door of her house. Let thou give thine honor unto others, and thy years unto the cruel. Lest strangers be filled with thy strength, and thy labors be in the house of an alien. And thou mourn at thy latter end, when thy flesh and thy body are consumed, and say, How have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof? Neither have I obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined mine ear to them that instructed me. I was well nigh in all evil, in the midst of the congregation and assembly. Drink waters out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of thine own well. Should thy springs be dispersed abroad and rivers of water in the streets, let them be for thyself alone and not for strangers with thee. Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice in the wife of thy youth, as loving hind and a pleasant doe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times. Well, men are different, interested in different parts to different degrees, right? And be thou ravished always with her love. For why shouldest thou, my son, be ravished with a strange woman, and embrace the bosom of a stranger? Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways, and be wise, which having no chief, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer, and gathereth her food in the harvest. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as a robber, and thy want as an armed man. There be 6 things which God as noun and verb hateth. There be 6 things which God as a noun and verb hateth, yea, 7, which are an abomination unto him: haughty eyes, and a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that uttereth lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. My son, keep the commandments of thy father. My son, keep the commandments of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. Well, shouldn't you obey God first before family and even and country and all that? But bind them continually upon thy heart, tie them about thy neck. When thou walkest, it shall lead thee. When thou sleepest, it shall watch over thee. And when thou awaken, it shall talk with thee. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is a light. And reproofs of instruction are the ways of life. To keep thee from the evil woman, from flattery a stranger's tongue, lest not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. For on account of a whorish woman a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress hunteth for the precious life. Can a man take fire in his bosom, and his clothes not be burned? Or can one walk upon hot coals, and his feet not be scorched? So he that goeth in to his neighbor's wife, whoever toucheth her shall not be unpunished. Men do not despise a thief, if he steal to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. But if he be found, he shall restore 7-fold. He shall give all the substance of his house. He that committeth adultery with a woman is void of understanding. He doeth it that would destroy his own soul. Wounds and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. Some consequences are eternal, but there's repentance for the living, isn't there? At least I thought so. 4. Jealousy is the rage of a man, and he will not spare in the day of vengeance. He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content. Though thou givest many gifts, at the window of my house, I looked forth through my lattice, and I beheld among the simple ones, I discerned among the youths, a young man void of understanding, passing through the street near her corner, and he went the way to her house. In the twilight, in the evening of the day, in the blackness of night and the darkness, and behold, there met him a woman with the attire of a harlot, and wily of heart. She is clamorous and wilful, her feet abide not in her house. Now she is in the streets, now in the broad places, and lieth in wait at every corner. So she caught him, and kissed him, and with an impudent face she said unto him, Sacrifices of peace offerings are with me. This day have I paid my vows, therefore came I forth to meet thee, diligently to seek thy face, and have found thee. I have spread my couch with carpets of tapestry, with striped cloths of the yarn of Egypt. I perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us solace ourselves with loves, for the good man is not at home. He has gone a long journey. Well, there's different types of love, and that's definitely the love of the body and unlawful expression.